Hey, what's happening, man? It's your boy Dion checking in. Welcome you to the buffet. One thing about it, two things for sure. You're going to get good conversation and good motivation.
Everything great takes a beginning, you feel me? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you take a seed, you know, before it turns into what it turns into, everything is already in the seed, you know what I'm saying? So this is just a seed being planted, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully we can continue to do these things. This is how we do it, because it's a gap between Black history, you know what I mean? When you talk about Black history, people go all the way back to Malcolm X, but it's people after him, you know what I mean? And we are we it. It's what we can do now, you know what I'm saying? So we standing on their shoulders, so it's up to us, and it start with this dialogue. You know what's so dope about this, man? Everybody up here went to a HBCU.
Absolutely.
Everybody came all the way through too.
Yeah, most definitely.
So
we made it, bro. We are the talented 10th, as Marcus would say.
Like we actually the opposite of what they want to put on the TV screen.
Oh so, yeah, most definitely.
That's a great segue. You know what, Dominic? I think that's the perfect. You know what? Hey, we ain't about to waste another second. So,
my word.
So let's get into that. Why is it that they don't want to see successful African American males on the TV screen? Why is it that they rather see us? I'm not. How can I say this nicely? They rather see the coonery than congratulate us.
They don't want to see the education. They don't want to see the smart. They don't want to see the smart colored man speak, because when the smart colored man speaks, he points out all the flaws. But when the coon, for lack of better words, when the coon speaks, he just speaks from the coon's perspective, and that's not what people need to see. They don't want that black man, the educated black man, to speak on it and let it be known what's going on.
Next. It's a historic point. It's a historic point. Like, it's true. There's nothing that you said that was wrong on that one. Just be real about it. As black men who went to HBCU, we all know that the idea of going to HBCU is seen as lesser for some reason, even though we have our own version of the Ivy League, if you think about it.
Damn right.
But in regards to the rest of the nation, the rest of the world, they don't see it that way, unless you did go to one of the top three that you consider in regards of high names, Howard, Spelman, Morehouse type thing. Yeah, but even then, we are seen as individuals who can bring a new trend, or in the entertainment aspect, we can be the funniest, the liveliest. We can dance like it's nothing. Music, anything talented that does not have to do with a book, we can do it. Mm-hmm. And that's what I think in our day and age, that's what they're used to. I mean, think about it. Even with TikTok, the TikTok waves. I mean, think about it. Everything that has happened, everything that has become like, oh, do this challenge, do that challenge. A black person has started it. A black person has started it. But as soon as you sit there and say, hey, what happened in this book, or what is your stance on a political issue, coming to us would be like, man, so what? So what they said that. So I think it all goes back to the historic standpoint of what Marcus was saying and everything. I just think now it looks different because we're not at an age where you have a Booker T. Washington or W.E.B. Du Bois, where you're sitting there like, all right, you got to read a book, or you got to go to a PWI to be seen as a successful black man.
And there it is.
Hey, motivational say, what you got to say, man?
Well, I say, man, it's basically just a mindset thing, because we have always been in this box that we can't do as much as the world say we can do. But when it's really just, I feel like sometimes it's just guilt. Why not show our graduation on the news? And some of us, or majority of us, come from the hood and country grammar and all that kind of stuff, but they have kind of belittled us in a way to where they feel like if we show them, that's giving us too much power. And if we again notice how much we can do, then it becomes a generation after us that can know what they can do too.
Mhm.
Because look at it. I mean, think about it. Like the only time you see us being successful is when we play ball, any type of ball, when we rap, or we have little no knowledge of today's lawyer leaders. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
mean,
Yeah.
we can't name the top 10 lawyers out there, black lawyers out there, but we can name the top 10 NBA players. We can talk
Easily.
about that every single day. Who is the top 10? And that's what I'm saying. Like we gotta. That's why it's like really, really imperative for us as young black people to go back to our communities and say, this is what I'm doing.
Mhm.
And this is how I succeed. And don't just show them the results, but show them the process too. Because a lot of people that come to schools and speak at these schools, they tell you about the results, but they leave out the process. Because
Can I
Yeah,
Stephen A. Smith you? Can I Stephen A. Smith you real quick? So to that point, and I agree. But to that point, my brother, as a black man, but does that go to the idea of exposure? Like with that, like how you said, we don't know possibly 5 to 10 African American lawyers, black lawyers, but we can tell you NBA players like that. And it's like when it comes to sports, rap, music in general, we can name these people, but is it because the exposure is put out there so much? Because I can say for me, I had never met a lawyer, period, until I got in trouble, till I needed one. I never saw a black one until I went to law school. So do you think it's more of an exposure issue? Or do you think it's more of in our culture, in our community, that we just don't have those who have made it here to come back to here to express what it takes and what we do, what we need to do to learn that and understand that?
Yeah, I totally agree with that because like me, for instance, I didn't know nothing about college or nothing until I enrolled in the Upper Bound program at the house, Stillman College. I didn't know nothing about college and anything. I thought that, this is just what it was. We go to school. I don't know what's next after that. But until like we had really important teachers that came to me and said, this is what, have you considered doing this? You're good in math and science. Have you considered being an engineer? And I was like, what is that? I'm just being honest, but and it comes out as exposure. That's what we need to do in the black community, man. Go back to the hood and tell them like you can be more than just a guy that dribbled a ball or throw a ball or tackle somebody or something like that. You could be more than that. Because like you said, I didn't know too much about a lawyer until I needed one. So, I mean, that's just what it is. And then at that point, even when I needed one, I still didn't know a black person to call.
I think it's accountability in that. So to your point, whether it's exposure, whether it's the other thing, I think when it comes down to it, how many times have y'all gone back to your high school after graduation to speak on your process? To what Zay was saying, teaching the kids about your process, how you came from the same environment as they did, and look where you are now. And you don't have to answer it. If you have done it quite a bit, kudos to you. Marcus Green ain't been back to his high school in a long time to speak to anybody about how I, made it from the bottom now here. So who is exposing us? It's nobody exposing us. That's the answer to the question. When it comes down to our exposure, it's an accountability piece on us where we kind of got to make it our business to expose ourselves because when it comes down to the sports and the music and whatever else, entertainment, whatever else it is that we use to be able to name the best rappers or the best sports players, we don't have that, We don't have that ability to get exposed like that, so we got to kind of take it upon ourselves to go and do it. The crab in the bucket mentality, though, I don't think, and this is a personal opinion. Anybody can step in and say, nah, the crab in the bucket mentality ain't real no more. But I think that crab in the bucket mentality is like, yo, once I'm good, I'm gonna kick it with my family and that's it. And I'm gonna go back to work or something like that. I'm not gonna go back to high school. I'm not gonna go back to the middle school, the high school, the elementary school in my community and pass on that knowledge that I got now from going forward and getting up there and doing my thing. So it's accountability. And it can relate to both of those things, having the exposure or just not going back and giving back.
Hey, nigga, you like you about to say something?
Hey, man, it's hard for me to be quiet. But I've been quiet the whole time. So, I agree with basically what everybody's saying. I think to piggyback your point, bro, it's deeper than just going back. Most people don't even patronize people that do these occupations, right? So my dentist is black, and he went to A&T. Shout out to him. And my doctor's black, and I specifically sought them out, right? Because I got this mentality that how can you tell people what they can be? Like, how can you tell a black child they can be a lawyer if you don't even know one? You don't even use one. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of times people got to demonstrate. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think you have to necessarily tell people as much as you got to show them. You understand what I'm saying? Like, when they say support black business, I mean, that most people's definition of that, like, they only money exchange, I'm just be honest with, is when they buying drugs or they cutting their hair.
Shut up.
I'm just keeping it out.
It's the truth. Hey,
That's the 90% of the time you spend the money with some black people, that's when you spending it, bro. You're not looking for the dentist. You're not looking for the lawyer. You're not looking for the doctor. You're not even looking for these avenues. You know what I'm saying? So I think once people get accustomed to, but then when we start our business, we want everybody to support us, right?
Right. You're right.
That I think people just have to change their lifestyle. So I'm the type of person, if you black and you got a business, I'm gonna give you a shot. Now, if it ain't good, I ain't gonna be black. You know what I'm saying? I take into account where you are. You know what I'm saying? If you provide a good service, maybe you don't have all the tools to be able to do it. But if you really about your business, then I'll continue to patronize. You know what I'm saying? But we don't even seek out those type of resources, bro. We just
because a lot of people, man, they start these businesses and everything else, and they forget to do a test sample on close people they know. Like,
right.
That's what I was saying.
Let me get some feedback from some people before I release this out. And then don't get mad at the feedback. Don't get mad at the feedback when somebody tell you, like, bruh, this is not it. You need to work on this.
But look, though, how many times you been to a restaurant, man, or how many times you went to Wendy's and your sandwich wasn't perfect, but you went back? You understand?
But you went,
My point is, I got to see you where you at. Now, if you just completely sloppy with it, cool. But if you starting out, it's understood. These people, how are you going to compete when you're just starting? So I got to see where you at. I got to see your mentality. I got to see the quality of how you're handling your business with the limited amount of resources, because it's unfair for me to compare your wing spot to a huge chain, because we got to get there. You know what I'm saying?
And Dominique, we'd have talked about this before, right? Yeah, when you just now start, I got to jump in. My bad, yo. Like, yo, when you just starting out with your business, yeah, you don't have the resources. You don't have the warranty with your product that this white man got with his product. You don't have the exchange policy like this other business has. Because I definitely just now went through a situation. But let me tell a story. Let me tell a quick little story. You know what I'm saying? And I will probably go get that light blue Support Black Colleges sweater I just now ordered. You know what I'm saying? The joint is dope. Regardless, I just wanted black because blackity black. That's my thing. But anyway, so let me tell a story real quick. So I go to this bank. There's this bank in Greensboro. It's called M&F Bank. It is a black-owned bank. And I don't know about you guys' experience, but there's not too many black male tellers, right? And anytime I go into a bank, it's either a woman or it's some. It's one on
the line right now, but go ahead.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Nate.
Oh, that's what's up. Well, shout out to the black teller on the call. But so going forward with the story, so I fill out my slip, right? I'm making a deposit for one of my organizations. I fill out the slip in detail. Everything that's needed is on the slip. And I guess this young lady that's behind the counter has some preconceived notion that, I might not know what I'm doing right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I give her the slip, and literally everything on the slip she asked me like I didn't fill it out, almost as if she had anticipated me not filling it out correctly. And without giving too much detail on how the conversation went, bro, I was insulted. So being insulted in that capacity, right? If it wasn't for my organization wanting to support a Black-owned business, Marcus Green would not go back into that bank. However, I got to because I'm the secretary of the organization. But my point is to what Dominique was saying, lack of resources when you're starting up. I'm pretty sure this bank has been around for a long freaking time. So lack of resources when you just starting up, that ain't enough. That ain't enough. That ain't it. It's a little bit more than that. Like, it's something that goes along with how so I'm gonna go back to crabs in the bucket, even though it's not directly tied to it. Like, it's an attitude thing. Like,
no, that's what I was saying. I gotta meet you where you are. I gotta see where you are. That's what I was saying. Like, I'm not saying that you should just.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was. So why I gotta see how you are to want to better your business? Like, if you just now starting off and you need to better your business and you're doing a piss poor job, I don't know if I really need to tell you that. In my opinion, if you put yourself in your customer's shoes, you should see outright. Unless you just a dummy, forgive me for using that language. Unless you just a dummy, when you put yourself in your customer's shoes, dang, I just now did this customer bad. Let me improve myself. I shouldn't have to tell you that. I shouldn't have to give you feedback.
Number one, that teller doesn't own the bank, right? So, I mean, if you had that experience at another bank, would you think about leaving your bank, or would you complain about it? You see what I'm saying?
So I guess personally, yeah, I would leave the bank because that's actually what I did. Like, we was with Wells Fargo.
I can't win with him.
I was like, bruh, like, yo, this, that, the third happened, and they charged me this extra money. Yo, we got to go somewhere else. And then, so I mean, personally, yeah, I'm about to leave the bank.
You're a different breed because, like I said, you know, I've been plenty
most
places
people wouldn't.
where the line was long or something, or you know what I'm saying, but we just come back. You know, all I'm saying is in most cases we don't give Black people that type of chance, man.
Yeah.
Not that same type of, you know what I mean?
But you're right. We don't give Black people that. You're right, 100%.
When is it too many chances though?
Oh, that's
because I think everybody. So is it first impression, second impression, like? And it's hard to tell because, you know, we got different avenues. You go to a Black-owned restaurant, and I mean, there's so many aspects that go into it. Your service can be having a bad day. The cooks could just be like not on it that day. They could be new. Your food can be cold or nasty. Or you could have just the best experience, and then the only bad thing is another customer. You just so it's like the prices could be that.
The prices be high.
Yeah, the prices be high. Something like that. Now, you know, when it comes to like that's what it is when it comes to restaurants. But then you got the Black-owned businesses that do retail, that sell clothes online. You know, they could be like, "Hey, buy my stuff. I'm here." You support them, and the communication then stops. Like after you put your order in. And it's like, all right, something's wrong, or I haven't heard from you because it's a custom-made thing. Like, you know, that I think I understand both aspects. I understand both points. It's just, I think it's hard because when we talk about Black-owned businesses, a lot of them are not franchised. So we can't be like, oh yeah, the one on this street go to the one on that street.
That's very true.
Yeah, and everything. Whereas like with us, that's the only business. We can only go to you. And you treated us wrong, or we feel as if you treated us wrong. So it's like, do I give you another shot? Like, you want punishment for 3 months? I'll come back after that. What do you do?
Will, I got you right here. So I guess it depends on the collateral damage. You know, like for example, if you go to a Black barber and he screws you up one time, that could be like one and done. All right, you done screwed up.
That's it.
Unless you don't have 500 cuts from that dude, you better not do that within the first year to cut my hair.
All it takes is one and done. Like some, it just depends on the business. Some people it's one and done. If it's like a grocery store, if it's like a car wash or something like that, you're more likely to give them another chance versus something that was just so traumatizing, like, yo, I'm never going back. You know, it's really, you got to take it case by case basis. You know?
So what's the experience after they mess up though? So like, if the experience,
you gotta let them know, bro. Like,
Yeah,
I
well,
feel like it's our duty to be like, hey, look, it all depends on how the message is communicated, because I can't just walk up to young entrepreneur here and be like, hey, man, you know you done effed up my stuff. Like, no, I got to approach them like, hey, look, I get it. You trying to do this, that, and the third, but, you know, hey, this was kind of wrong. You switch this up. If you tidy this up, you know, you go and get more customers, things like that. It all depends on the delivery. Because I get it. A lot of us just be ready to just wow on people and just spaz on people, and nobody's gonna be receptive to that, like, unless they just have that thick skin. I mean, of course, we're not gonna know the owner up front, but you just gotta feel the vibe. Like, okay, how is this person gonna take it? Does he look timid? Does he look confident? Or he or she? It could be a female owner, whatever they are.
I want to throw a wrench. So, Mike, yeah, I know, right? I'm gonna take one of your examples. Let's say I do car washes. I don't know, just something random, right? I'm cleaning your car. I don't clean your car like how you want it to, right? All right, role play. Go ahead. As my customer, give me my feedback. Just real quick, give me some feedback on how I messed up washing your car, and I'm gonna show you what happens in the Black community once you do that in the positive fashion.
No, so now hold up, time out. Before we do this, do I know you as like, yo, my former roommate, my brother times like 6, all that, or is it just literally I don't know you from Adam, but I'm just supporting you because you're African American male?
That one, the latter. Yep.
The latter. All right, so I got it. All right, so and action. All right, so boom. So there I was. Now let's play. But I got you right here. Hey, excuse me, kind sir.
Yes, how can I help?
Yes, sir. So I'm trying to support your business. I respect your movement. I respect everything you got going on right now. But for some reason, there's a scratch on my right side that was not there before I got here. Now, I'm not going to jump off the deep end and just accuse you. But at the same time, it's like, yo, I know it wasn't there before. And you might want to look into your machinery, your equipment, things like that, because I don't want this to happen to someone else's car and you have even bigger issues. Now, I may be tripping. I may have had this scratch prior to it could have happened this morning. My kids could have done it, whatever. But you just might want to check your equipment just in case, because I don't want this to affect your business moving forward.
All right. Hey, y'all, check this out. Here's how I go. He just not gave me feedback, right? I'm a Black business owner. All right, sir. Well, I do appreciate that feedback. I'm so sorry that we inconvenienced you like that. You know, if there's anything that I can do to help take care of those damages, I would definitely look into it, as well as I would make sure my staff and my machinery is up to par, so that the next time you want to come visit, we'll be able to take care of you better. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Yeah, man, that employee over there with
All right, sir. You have a nice day, and we'll definitely make sure to check all these things out. So my customer walks away, right? I'm about to turn to one of my workers. Man, let's go over here trying to tell me how to run this. Trying to tell me my machines is broke. Is that what happens?
Hey,
is
bro,
that what happens?
That's not only Black people.
It's not. It's not.
That's not only
But
Black people. Like
Okay.
I think a lot of people get in the habit of, since we hang with each other and we know our actions, we think we're the only one that do these type of things. Like, other people don't have them type of reactions. Like, people that cut down trees, they gonna say, I've been cutting trees for 20 years. And you know what I'm saying? That when you
the audacity, the nerve.
The audacity, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can go to a local car dealer and they gonna be like, I ain't scratching nothing. As soon as you pull up out of there, you know what I'm saying? You should leave your phone on record mode and say, oh, I forgot my phone, and go back and get it and see what they said about you when you
when you walked away. Yeah, that's a point. You got me, neat. That's a point. You're right.
This ignorant.
I'm gonna be cussing in whatever language they got. You know what I'm saying? Like,
in their language, in their native tongue.
You feel me? Like,
serious note, like, we owe each other that feedback, because how can we expect each other to what's that verse in the Bible? Iron sharpens iron.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how can we expect each other to grow when we're not even giving each other that respective feedback? Keyword respectfully. We're not respectfully giving each other that feedback. Like, that's huge. And to get back to the main point at hand, as far as Black minorities in the media, I hate the fact that a lot of producers and directors feel the need that they have to make us look inferior. Like, there's the reason why you don't see a lot of people that want to grow up and be doctors, lawyers, ABC to X, is because it's not being promoted as such a positive thing. You know, when you look on television, most you see reality TV, people scrapping all the time, rappers.
Worst thing that ever happened to us.
I mean,
Worst thing that ever happened to us.
So it's like, yo, because think about it. Back in the day, I want to say like back in the 90s, or even early 2000s, they had things like Teen Summit. They had Cornell West on BT. You had those stations that would promote entrepreneurship and intellectual African Americans doing their thing, all that stuff's been pulled. So it's like if you're going to have all the stations filled with coonery, can you at least have a balance of something good? You know, why we got to get hit with constant foolishness?
Bro,
you know, like I hate to say they're going to drag me in the comments, but I don't care. I'm gonna say this anyway. But I respect everything Tyler Perry has done. I do. I respect his body's work. I respect where he's at now. But I hate the fact that he had to go about it that way. That's just me. And even Dave Chappelle spoke about this on Oprah. It's like, why do they have to put a black man in a dress? Think of every phenomenal tier 1 black actor. I guarantee at some point they had to wear a dress at some point in time. I just hate that it's like that in the media, man. Like it really just angers my soul. That
so what you just said just made me think of Sidney Poitier and why he was so highly respected.
Right.
Because during his time, you know, if you were a black actor, you had to follow the rules, take this role as a coon, as a nigga, as a pickadilly, like all this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he said he was not going to do that. And that's why he was so highly regarded. That's why he is highly regarded.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think, like, with him, you got individuals like him, you got your Denzels, you got your Samuel L's. I mean, you have your Lawrence Fishburnes, you have those who are seen as highly regarded, who did not put on the dress, who's seen as if they did not sell out. Because Denzel, he had a rule in his movies: I will not kiss a white woman, like, period. It does not matter. If she is not black mixed, I am not kissing her. So do you think that when they put their foot down, that is when they get the respect? Do you think that as black people in entertainment and media, they have to say, you know what? No, like, I'm not going to do that? Or is it okay to be like, I'll do this right now to get my foot in the door?
No, I mean, it's strength in numbers. Like, if enough say no, eventually they're going to have to rewrite the script. Perfect example, going back to what Dave Chappelle said. In the scene in Blue Street, when he was supposed to break out of jail and whatnot, they were going to have him wear a dress to get out of there. But once he said no so many times, they rewrote the script right then and there on the set and changed it to something different, to the scene that we saw in the movie theaters. If enough people do that, then they're going to stop being like, oh, well, I guess this really is a bad idea. You know, so you better like...
I disagree. I disagree.
You know,
To what extent, Neat?
Because I feel like whether he had a dress on or not, that was going to stop them people from going seeing Blue Street. So, or whatever movie he was supposed to be in. So most things go back to the dollar, right? So when the consumer decides that we don't want to see that, then it will no longer be done, right? So check this out. You said in the 90s, they had a balance of entertainment, right?
Entertainment and intellectual.
So when they removed the intellectual off television, then half of that money should have went away, right?
Yeah.
It probably didn't. People just started consuming the other side, right?
All right, so I got your counter right here. If it never even hits the market, they can't have a demand for it. So if Dave Chappelle,
that's true, but you can't expect them. You can't expect them to not want to portray you in that right. Like, at the basis of all of this, everybody here, and I'm speaking to our skin tone, was brought here to work and serve. Period. They're never gonna want to portray you in a different type of light, right? But the consumer. So if they say, hey, look, wear the dress, and then the movie sells out, they'll always have somebody to fill that spot.
But here's the thing, though. If the movie hits the theaters and you never even know that scene was supposed to be in there, you still going to enjoy the movie because it's still freaking an hour and 29 other minutes that don't have anything to do with that scene.
That's true.
So if you're telling me that it took that one scene to put it over the top, then that means you had a weak script to start with. That means that the script wasn't that good if you had to go to that measure just to even make it to break even. Show me one Avengers movie where somebody cross-dressed. And them things sell out like that.
What makes comedy, like, because everything, when it comes to a black man in a dress, it's always a comedy thing, point blank period. It's always to be funny. And I mean, I do think it has played its course. I mean, social media has a lot of dudes doing it, and it's not funny to me. But I do know at one time, like, you know, oh, Madea kind of funny, or whatever. Or then you got Eddie Murphy in the dress at Big Mama's house and all this stuff with Martin Lawrence. Like it was funny. So it's like you have the comedy aspect of it all.
I think comedy is where we got our breakout. That's how we got on the big screen, maybe.
I do think that is it, because comedy is what finally took us away from, I guess you say, blaxploitation and period pieces. It's horrible. It is horrible that the way that we had to step into the door was we had to put on lipstick. We had to put on eyeshadow, something that was not of a man. And we have to remember, at a point in time, while today we still are not in charge, it was a point in time we weren't even allowed in the room, on the parking lot, none of it. So it's like, Eddie Murphy funny. He can write a script. Let's write a script. You think he'll be down to get put on the dress? Let's ask him. Eddie Murphy probably like, look, I like this money and I'm down for it. The Wayans brothers, I mean, let's be real. If it wasn't for the Wayans brothers, a lot of people wouldn't be here. So the stuff that Keenan wrote is historical, regardless of how we look at it. Because
and Keenan put the dress in there.
I do think that out of all of them, like, you know, we look at Sean and Marlon and they're like, oh, they put on dresses. But even in that conversation of the men who put on dresses, Tyler Perry will always be the first one that we look at because he did it the most. Then you got your Martin Lawrences, and then you got Eddie. But other than that, we don't bring up the Wayans. We don't even bring up Wesley Snipes when he did a movie full-blown drag. What was it? Ving Rhames and and Holiday Heart.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I think we.
That's crazy. I didn't think about that.
I think we as our culture, we do frown upon it, but there are points where it's like we make exceptions. Okay. We make so many exceptions for it, and we do that everywhere. Like, think about it. Mumble rap is horrible, but Future's the
hey,
whatever.
Speaking of dresses, have y'all seen your boy Yachty in the music video Oprah's bank account?
I didn't watch it.
Go watch it. But go ahead, Will.
The point I was making is bigger than the dress. All I'm saying is, I agree with the fact that at one point, you know, they wouldn't let us in the door, but we living in the dopest time ever. Like, bro, we're actually in more control than we think we are. All I'm saying is, however you support something financially is the true way to gain your power. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people will go to stores, like if they get mistreated, and they'll stand outside all day with a sign.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't want you to treat me better. I'm not going to go nowhere where I ain't treated. I don't even want to spend my... Thank you for letting me know how you feel, because I don't want to spend my money here. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is, when it comes to programming, you got to question why people don't look for other avenues. That's all I'm saying. Why don't you support Revolt TV and stuff like that are owned by Black people? You know what I'm saying? Why do you just continue to watch whatever they feed you? You know what I'm saying? If it's not good, then turn it off, if that's how you truly believe. But the ratings got an all-time high for whatever reason. So obviously, somebody likes this. I think the most dangerous part about this whole scenario is it's not what somebody calls you, it's what you identify with. And the fact that people actually identify with it. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to look, like I said in the beginning of this chat, everybody in this chat is against the norm, is against what's, you know what I'm saying, what's perpetuated. So it's like, why do people continue to support that stuff, bro? I don't know. That's my biggest question.
I see your point, and I support it. I do support it.
I'm not knocking you. It's got its place, bro. Entertainment has its place, bro.
No, I get you. Because even in the entertainment world, think about it. If I'm be real, like Black Panther is not as great as a movie as it can be, but it was monumental because I don't remember the last time I saw a Black person in charge of something in a movie.
I got you.
And because of that, like we're like, oh, it's a movie, a Marvel movie about a Black man in charge with a Black country that is doing it and everything. So it made records. Jordan Peele is the in horror right now, all because he is completely changing the way it has been done. And Black audiences, even white audiences, no matter what color they are, they're going to see his movies because they are good product.
Good product, yeah, I agree.
And everything. So it's like I completely understand what you say when you what you mean when you say, you know, why not support the things that we feel represents us or is good or that we enjoy? Why do we keep watching the reality TV shows, the this, that, and the third, that doesn't display that and everything? I do think though, when the intellectual dropped off, and like you said, we just fed into it. That's all we were given. Like even when you said with Revolt TV and everything, that wasn't just something we could watch. If you remember cable, like basic cable, like you had your MTVs, your VH1s, your BETs, and whatnot. College Hill came on the other day. Guaranteed BET got a boost in their rating.
Come on,
Absolutely.
Exactly. And whatnot. It's like,
I felt like Black Panther was trying to do that, put it all back, because you had a bunch of talented actors that was all black except the agent and
the villain.
But they was trying to bring that back, and you had all them. They was like, we wanted to take it serious. We wanted to stand up for our race and tell them like, this is how we can be seen on TV. You know, everybody went there with their dashikis on and everything else. The seriousness of how well that was done. And we don't want to, Ryan Coogler.
Ryan Coogler directed
it. You know, and if they, in the entertainment community, if they would have stepped up and just took it serious, man, we can actually own our own network other than BET and own it.
Going back to Will made a great point earlier. He said when College Hill aired, I guarantee he got a boost in ratings. Yo, how many of us wanted to be on College Hill when we saw that jump growing up? I was like, all right, knew I was going to A&T.
I might not have graduated if I was on College Hill.
What the amount of, but here's the thing though, that goes back to the point where if it's put out there, that exposure, it makes people aspire to want to do that, you know? So if we saw more lawyers, doctors, dentists, people in the medical field, pursuing entrepreneurship, whatever, if you saw more of that happening, if they aired more of that, people would aspire to want to do that more often.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's been my biggest pet peeve with media, you know? So I'm thankful for things like YouTube and all this other stuff where people can just upload their own stuff, but it's a gift and a curse as well, because people are also uploading a lot of coonery, a lot of foolishness. So it's a double-edged sword. Exactly. Don't watch it. Don't give them views and things like that. But one thing I do hope to see before we all leave this earth is the tide change where it goes back to, all right, let's have those. For example, in the 90s, you had so many black sitcoms that were actually some good. I mean, that
and
actually
they were
had
good,
a positive message.
And they were good. Say that
good
again.
message, good acting, everything overall good, baseline good. I can take this a step further, and this is probably going to piss a lot of people off. Music in the 90s, the artists actually had talent. Like, you actually had to have bars. You actually had to.
I don't think you're pissing anybody off, bro. I don't think you're pissing anybody off.
There's going to be so many people born after 1994 that just destroyed me in the comments.
You're pissing me off.
When they go back and listen to the music, they will be like, yo, franchise was on to some shit.
No, but the thing is, like, it goes back to my point, like, just that era was just the golden age for not just music, but just media in general. Like, everything, it was balanced. I guess that's a word I'm looking for. It was just a lot of balance. Like, granted, you had your twerk songs, you had your party anthems, you had this, that, and the third, but you also had
conscious rap.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's what I was looking.
Yeah, but we don't really demand that these days.
Definitely don't demand it.
That's my point.
It's not out though, because people are not. We don't demand it because people are not putting it out because they know that's not the way.
Because your J. Cole's and your Kendricks, man, tend to get heavy love out here. It's just people don't
define heavy love.
Define
heavy love though.
If
you know how long it took them though.
It's two, like, we always revert back to two people.
That's all we know.
And your Cole. And you're right. That's what I'm saying.
That's all I know.
But Wale was part of that crew too, though.
Okay, yeah, let's throw that in it.
See, that's what I was having this conversation about earlier today. That a whole lot of rappers that we had that conscious rap from, that's when they was hungry, and then they got paid more. And everything, and then that conscience kind of fell off. I got to make the club bangers, and I'm like, man.
But it goes back to Domino's point. It goes back to Dominique's point, man. It's all about the consumer, and I hate it. But it's like, but that's all we're given. Like, how many people are actually putting good conscious music out at a high level?
I mean,
Not at a high
now,
level.
I mean, people. How many times? And this is putting it on. How many times did we look for it though?
Not at all. Not
You
at
know what I'm saying?
all.
So we gotta.
You
Everybody
hop in
up
your
there.
car, you listening to the local radio station, and the radio station is
Exactly.
playing what's on demand. So
Everybody
we're
in
not
the
looking
chat
for it. You know what I'm
knows
saying? I
that
know Mike
somebody-
Ward and Will, I know y'all be listening for everybody. I know that for a fact. But like me, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like when I hop in the truck, like 102 Jams is on and whatever Yachty or whatever Louis or YFN, like, you know, that's what's on demand because they own those stations and they probably don't own those stations, but that's what's hot, that's what's being put out.
I happen to enjoy the mumble bull job, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
You like the beat. You like
It
the
has
beat.
its place. It has its place,
It
but where's
has
the
its
balance?
place.
Where's the balance? Because I guarantee, all right, it's no different than when we go to a party. I do not want to hear back that thing up 100 times. I get it.
Right.
There got to be, I want that Jamaican feel. I want that Jamaican set. I want that that slow jam set, that hype set, that, okay, now it's time for the hot music. You know, everything, it has its place, but where is the balance now? It just seems like everything is just overpowered with mediocrity.
He said, shoot, I do. Yes, I saw. And this guy's childish. He's childish. I mean, go ahead.
Hey, he about to get booted from this. Hey, where's the
He's like the silent guru of the show.
I personally feel that Tupac had the best, like, blueprint, whatever. He said, I'm going to give you this club banger, but also let's talk about Brenda Had a Baby. Let's talk about Rearview Mirror. Let's talk about this. I'm going to give you some club bangers with it. And that blueprint, I feel like that blueprint kind of died when Tupac left. That's why I still listen to him.
Dominique and Nate, actually, we talked about this in church the other day. Like, you have those artists that's like Jeezy, Nas, Cole, Tupac. They're great narrators. You know, they great. They do a great job of painting the picture. They do a great job of painting the picture. But now you don't get that. I mean, Kendrick does, Cole does, but it's not too many artists.
Keep going.
That hey man, come on, man. Put me on the spot like that. Slaughterhouse.
Oh, Slaughter. They're not even together no more. They're not even together no more.
Hey man, put me on the spot.
So you telling me Future don't paint no pictures for you, brother?
Man, what kind of pictures?
Hold on. Hold on.
Hey, that's me.
You know that's my boy.
I know that's your boy, but he don't paint no pictures, man.
Hey, listen, what you gotta understand is when you talk about balance, when you talk first of all, black people reinvent music probably every 2 years, right?
Yeah.
So what you define as rap right now, you go back 2 years, the sound was different. Go back 2 more years.
Yeah, right.
So you can't, and the people that invented is the kids. So you can't even judge them for it. So that's how you know whether you're old or not, because we enjoy older music. We out of we out the loop. So
we out of the norm, yeah.
Exactly. So look, I got a whole little, you know, I ain't gonna lie, when I get up and get ready to go to work, you know, I got plenty of rap on here.
You got the cool tunes, don't you?
But I got
plenty of rap on here.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta balance yourself. I got plenty of R&B playlists, all of that.
Yeah.
I got gospel playlists, I got all of that. So I make sure I get them. I got a whole Nipsey list, I got all of that. You know what I'm saying? I got like 20 different playlists. And I got speeches, man, Malcolm X and all of that on my phone. So it's whatever you patronize, you know what I'm saying? Look, man, the water hose gonna put out the same product. Dirty water every time.
Dirty Sprite.
Water hose looking for something else. And we all drunk it, but you can't expect Capri Sun to come out that junk when you know what's gonna come out of there. You gotta find different sources, bro.
Yeah, it's wisdom. It's true.
Hey, yo, Nate, turn your mic on, get up in this, man. You ain't got to be a mere spectator. Yeah,
I do. Am I good to speak? No,
Yo.
What's good, Nate?
Yo, what's going on, fellas?
What's up?
Welcome to the buffet, man. Go and get you a slice, man. Go on get
you a plate.
Go and get you a plate.
Get you some hors d'oeuvres.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Hey man, that water hose was funny. That was funny. And that Future was funny too. You gonna get that from Future?
Hey, look, I got some, man. Look, I like Future.
Yeah. I mean, I ain't even got nothing to say. I was just waiting for my time to shine. So I got to get on the next one.
Hey, boom, man. Here it is, man. Hey, you got some time, man. Hey, go on. What you want to talk about, man? Minorities in the media, music in its current state, COVID-19. We ain't even got to the next topic yet.
You know,
Coronavirus.
Well, I mean,
We how powerful it is right there.
all right. So I might very well open up a can of worms with this one, but there's a video. I think I might have shared it with Dom, and you might have shared it with me. But it's old boy who was on the set of somebody's show, and somehow they got into, wanting to say the N-word, and he was kind of egging them on.
Kick him out of the classroom. I think he was wrong, bro. So the man, bro. Like, hey, okay. Anyway,
I let him speak his point. I want to hear.
I ain't say nothing yet. I ain't say nothing.
So for his white counterparts to try to go at the conversation how they did, out of pocket, OCOD, wrong. This ain't nothing for them to have a conversation about.
Sure.
But the way that he went about trying to let them know that it was improper was out of control, out of pocket, wrong as well. Like, dog, he could have hit him with a different way of saying it. Like, bro, like, cause what me, let's keep it a buck. What would have happened if one of them would have said it?
Bro, listen. The bigger question is, why are they mad they can't say it, right? So they just exposed themselves.
Bet.
That's why I love it, bro. I love it for you to expose yourself, bro. Like, listen, you should be able to be who you are. Why can't I say it? You can't say it because you probably said it behind closed doors. And now I know that you said it, and now I know how you think. There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay, so to paint the picture,
I love
we're going to paint the picture for the audience. So what we're talking about, the clip is from this TV show. I can't remember if it's on Showtime or whatever.
Just find the clip and play it.
Yeah.
I don't want no copyright problems, but I don't want no smoke. I don't want no issues. No, because here's the thing. It came from a TV show. It came from a TV show called The Good Fight. And so and I want to say that junk aired like 2 years ago. So the fact that it's just now going viral, that shows you the power of the internet. But basically, it was a scene where there was this new anchor. I think he was a new anchor or something. They talked to him in the dressing room and they told him, like, yeah, we're looking for the viral moments, ABCD XYZ. So they kind of egged him on before they even went on the set. So dude was already like sick of them before he got on the set. So then they got on the set and then they got to that topic. So that's when he was like, say it. What you want to say? I mean, I didn't say I wanted to say it. Well, So it's America. Go ahead. I will say it with you.
Which, yes.
So his name is Delroy Lindo.
That's it.
This is why I love it. This is why I love it in the way he did it.
Thank you, Will.
It's not to me, it's because he got them to notice why it's wrong.
Thank you.
Facts. Like he straight up said that's like you talking to a kid. Mind you, I work with kids, but that's like you talking to a kid. And you got this fire burning right here. It's like, so we see this fire. They be like, hey, how come you can touch it, but I can't? It's like, oh, touch it then. See what happens. No, I ain't gonna touch it. No, touch it. Just go ahead and do it. And they like, no, because they know better. Like they understand why they can't say it and everything. Yeah, they say it at their house. They say it in their privacy, all that type of stuff. But what he did was he literally made them show the world that they know they cannot say it. They know there's an issue with saying it.
Exactly.
Because if there wasn't him saying, say it, go ahead and do it, they would have said it or whatever. That if I'm like
They
Marcus,
said it
you
after the show, bro. I promise you. They call him.
guarantee, like I guarantee it. That tried me, like I guarantee it. But like there are certain things like if a white man came up to you and said, hey, call me a cracker. Be like, for what? Like you would think for what? But then if the conversation comes up, if they say, hey, would you ever call me a cracker? Because to us, it's just a word and everything. It has not been put in place where it has a historical, where it's basically got all this baggage on it. Where it's
the negative connotation, yeah.
Yes, the negative connotation. There you go. but they know this. It's not like they're ignorant to it. He was exposing the fact that you are not ignorant. Why are you asking me this bullshit?
Why we
You
even
know
talking
it.
about
You
this?
know
Why
it.
do you want to say this? That's my whole thing. Why?
That's why I loved it, because he exposed that these are not as ignorant as they claim to be right now.
I said which.
So I guess in my point of view on it, right? So from time to time, I like to watch CNN, and CNN is very diverse. They always get some Latino, some African American. They always get somebody who is intelligent to come on the show, and then they somehow find some, well, not somehow another, because there's plenty of them out there, but they get some racist on the show, and they got this intelligent Latino, this intelligent African American on stage with this racist person, and they combat now, right? They're going blow for blow in conversation, and I'm not gonna say most of the time, but a good number of times, what ends up happening is that Latino, that person of color, whether it's African, Latino, whatever ethnicity they may have on the show, they end up losing their cool. And in my mind, to me, what happens is, yeah, this racist up here talking racist shit, but you on this public stage just lost your cool. That don't help our cause out. At least in my opinion, that don't help our cause out. What your boy Delroy did, in my opinion, he lost his cool. You know what I'm saying? Now we got another big black man who just now made it look like he's about to be somebody. That's where I'm
did he
coming
really
from.
lose his cool though? I mean, his voice never got
Exactly,
above.
man. I don't know how we set the bar from.
I lose my. I have different levels of losing my cool, right? I know that I can get pissed off, crazy, mad, and then I know I got it's about to be an explosion. Say something wrong, and it's gonna, what I'm saying. So he, in my opinion, he was at the. Oh, I'm about to explode. Come on and say this N-word with me so I can
Marcus, what can you not what can you not stand? Not as a black man, but just as a man. What can you not stand? It starts with the I.
When you say what can I not stand?
Yes, what is a pet peeve that you may have, that you do have, because I've seen it. Starts with the I. The word, there you go, ignorance.
Yeah, ignorance is the thing. Ignorance is mad wild to me. But and I'm gonna let you say whatever it is that you're about to say. So Will, if anybody's ever been ignorant on a topic or a subject with you and me, or with the bros or anything, if it was like maybe like The Boys, or it was like a small setting, then I could probably get up in somebody's face and be like, yo man, you talking real crazy right now, and this, that, and the third, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you about how you wrong right now. I can do that because we're in that small setting. But this guy is on camera right now. And how Marcus is in 2020, like on camera, we gonna hold it back, and we gonna beat your ass with some smart conversation. We gonna tell you, hey, man, I respect the reason for you asking this question. Let's have a little history lesson really quick. I'm boiling mad right now while I'm giving this history lesson. I am beyond livid. You know what I'm saying? If there's a word beyond livid, that's what I am at that moment. I just feel like the stage in which he displayed that was improper, and it has to go back to the fact that they already think we some coons. They already think we dumb. They already think we only good for playing basketball and fighting and stuff like that. Dog, let's beat them at their own game, and let's make sure to do it proper. And he didn't do that, in my opinion. That's why I had a problem with it.
That's a great point right there. That's a gem. Beat them at their own game. I feel like that's what we got to do as a whole, just not even in the media, but across the board. Like, if you think about it, and this is way off topic of what we're talking about, what made the civil rights movement so successful is we had a lot of people that were on one accord beating them at their own game. If you go back to before sports was dominated by minorities, all it took was one. All it took the first black boxer to knock out a person that wasn't a minority. All it took was the first person to come in and just dunk on a person that wasn't a minority. Like, how we were able to take over. That's the name of the game. It's infiltrate and take over. You have to beat them at their own game. And right now, I feel like in this day and age, the name of the game is the power of the dollar.
Yeah, man. Change the paradigm. Don't put on the dress. trust the process, learn the rules to money, and make sure to remain a brother united for freedom evolving together. God bless.